Okay. Hello, everyone. Oh, see, got to do the volumes. It's up. See? Yeah. And let's turn the volume up. Nice. Okay, everyone. We're here. We're not dealing with questions. We're going to do something a little more fun. Um, do movie reviews on Sundays. So, I went to see American Fiction, and it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to do spoilers because when I do movie reviews, I talk about the concepts. So you can still go to the movie and enjoy it. No problem. And if you want to comment on specific things in the movie, you can. But I'm going to talk about the concepts that's played out in the movie. Because at this point in my life, that's all I really care about. I mean, I enjoy acting, it was well done. I enjoy the even the music. I enjoy the directing. I enjoy the script. Everything's good. I enjoy those things, but it's the concepts, that are important. And so a lot of these films now that are coming out are exposing everything around this race issue because the race issue is the American issue. America was built on the false concept of race, meaning they took ethnicity and made it race. There's race, there's a human race with different ethnicities in it, which you can call subgroups. And America was founded on the idea that these subgroups were actually the race. They didn't do it properly. So they distorted the core of what we are. And that was really unsustainable, but they wanted to become the wealthiest nation quick, so we have to enslave and we have to justify it in our own minds. I don't know why they just didn't put guns on us and just make us work. But they know you got to justify it to make yourself seem humane. So all of the psychological damage, all the systemic damage that's being done today, all of the residue from that, the consequences from that, and it's still in some of those systems are still kind of running. We're trying to get away from it, but they're running in the background, and people are still engaged in them and still invested in them. So a lot of these movies is dealing with the race issue, are trying to get back to some kind of sanity where, okay, we're human beings, we're different subsects, then we have to deal with that. We have to deal with what's been done to the people who you said were not even human, were 3/5 human, 4/5 human. I always say, and I think it's true, white conservatives treat me like 3/5 human, treat us. White liberals treat us like 4/5 human, and black people treat each other like 2/5 human. I mean, the way black people treat each other, talk to each other, destroy each other, disregard each other, throw each other away is amazing. It's amazing. It's almost like we're not even almost human beings at all. And it goes both ways. Of course, black men are treated worse, but not much worse. Because black women aren't treated much better. I mean, they're treated a little bit better by the outside, but not much. They're just sympathized with a little more. Because black men are just seen as straight brutes, straight animals. So, and I know this because I'm still shocking people. When black people see me in the street, anywhere I go, and I open my mouth, it's shocking to them. Shocking. It's shocking that I could put sentences together. It's shocking that I can speak like this in a certain tone. It's shocking that I could think things out. It's shocking that I could be polite. It's almost like we're at such a low level. We're at such low disregard. People see us as such low human, in such a low state of humanity that when I do basic civil actions, people look at me like I'm some kind of revolutionary. I mean, like holding the door um, for people, not standing on top of each other, people in line, giving people personal space, um, reading, and of course, then you're writing, and then of course, doing analysis is a whole nother thing. Then you become like super Negro to these people. But that's how of low regard we've come. Um, I truly believe in 2024, we're seen in less regard than we were in like 1824. I really do. Because you read old slave narratives, and at least they knew there was value in us, in our bodies, and out there. I don't even think they even see any value in us. I just think they see us as non-human something or subhuman entities that they know they did wrong and got to deal with. That's why I think everybody looks at us, and we look at each other like what our bosses tell us to look at each other as. And so you see the problem. And a lot of these films and American fictions dealing with that. It's dealing with how do we present ourselves, because it's dealing with a writer, it's an artist and a novelist, and he comes across, well, I'm not going to tell you anything, but it's how do you present yourself in the film? How do we present ourselves to the wider public? And how, again, white people want to see us, are comfortable seeing us, what they believe our life is relative to what is in, because they believe we're all gang banging, we're all involved in the seedy underbelly. Now the thing is, they've created walls so that we can't be a part of the mainstream as far as hiring practices and all that. And then they say, well, oh man, they're all part of the underworld. And then they get excited about hearing our struggles and pathologies and pains in that seedy underbelly. So it's almost like our pathology is their entertainment, and it's almost like their drug. And that's what the movie kind of deals with. And the one character who doesn't like it tries to buck it, but you'll see what happens in the film. And what the idea of going along, and at this point, do you even have a choice? Because everyone's going along with this system. Now, let me just say this. What we're doing is unsustainable. It can't last. You can't sustain a civil society on false concepts like that. And what happened to the United States, it spent a lot of resources, money, treasure, bodies, blood, maintaining this weird idea that there were different races instead of different ethnicities, diluting and polluting the core of reality, or trying. What really was funding bubbles, because what they were doing was destroying our perception of reality. Reality is going in the way it should, but they're destroying our perceptions of it, putting us in bubbles. But those bubbles take money and blood and treasure to maintain. To keep everybody delusional in a society this large takes a lot of resources. And so it's not sustainable, but people are invested in it. And after 2020, they actually showed us what the new society would be like. But so many people are invested in this racist society, the false society that was, because it's been here for 200 years, been here all our lives. Even the people who I know hated it didn't like what came next. I love what came next. I think, look, Give me stimulus, destroy the welfare system, destroy the SNAP system, destroy that, and just give everybody a stimulus every month or universal basic income every month. $1,400. You would actually save money because you'd be surprised how much it costs to give out public welfare. First of all, public welfare in the United States is very meager. It's the worst welfare of all the industrial societies. And it costs an enormous amount to give it out. The administrative cost around it is insane. Insane. Let me give you an example. I'm on, because I work for myself, I get HRA help. No shame in it. The government owes me. I was working and it told me I couldn't teach the children well. I couldn't teach them. I was teaching them too much and fired me. That caused the downhill spiral. And so it owes me because I went to school, I did my thing, I didn't do no time, I don't do any drugs. It owes me. So it pays me. So one of the requirements is a work requirement. And I went to one of these job fairs. I went through the door. There's 2 guards, metal detector. Okay, fine. I walk 5 feet. There's another guard. Got to sign in. I walk 5 more feet. There's another guard in the hallway telling me, go into this big room. Now I could see the big room with 2 more people sitting at the desk 20 feet in front. So I go there. There's a guard 5 feet over there. There's a guard 5 feet over there. And then there's the 2 people sitting behind the desk. There's a guard covering a hallway there and a guard covering a hallway there. They're all paid to do this event. So they forced us upstairs to this job fair. There's guards. There must have been 20 guards at this event, every 5 feet to string you along. And they're paying them. They created the event so that they could pay the guards to secure the event. So the whole event itself was a jobs program. But when we went upstairs to actually, you're supposed to give your resumes, you're supposed to drop them off, it was none of that. It was just people saying, oh, this is what it is. Scan the QR code, go on our website, apply for the jobs. And it became very obvious some of these jobs didn't exist. But we had to go through this thing to say we're fulfilling a work requirement. And that's the way a lot of the welfare system in the United States is. At least in New York City, it's like that. There's a lot of. Another example, when I was in the homeless shelter, and I've told you this before, I was on a cot. 2 feet away was another brother on the cot. This was an old hotel in the Bronx that they turned into a shelter for people. Men, women were on the bottom floor, but it was mostly single men. The family shelter was next door. So it was a big set of buildings, 5 stories, 3 sets. One organization ran ours, which was single people. One organization ran the family. And I want to say the other organization in the 3rd building was running couples, but I think with no children. It was something like that. This organization was getting anywhere from $1,800 to $3,600 a month per cot. So let's just, we never were clear because they said it was a hotel. It was whoever owned it was charging them more. So we went in the room and $3,600. $3,600 for me, $3,600 for the guy 2 feet away from me. That single little room, the city was paying $7,200 a month, anywhere from $3,600 to $7,200. But let's take the low end. Let's say it's $1,800 a month to sleep on that cot. That's insane. That's insane. Because I could have rented an Airbnb for $1,100. Just give me the $1,400 stimulus. I could rent an Airbnb for $1,400 or $1,100 sometimes 800, 900, and I would have had my privacy. I wouldn't have had to share the bathroom with 20 people. Maybe I would have had to share with 2 or 3 people. You see, this is what, oh yeah, that's what we had to do. You had to share the bathroom with 20 people. It was 2 house bathrooms. So it was always clogged up. Uh, rodent infested because my room was by the kitchen. So I did everything I could to keep it clean. My roommate was a dirt bomb, so I had to keep his side clean as I could. Uh, so that was that. That's how that system is run. But in 2020, we had the chance to go to something new. Stimulus. We had a rent moratorium, which meant, of course, there was going to be rent again. But the whole idea is, how are you going to go forward? And this is the thing. The new society is going to be, you have to go forward working for yourself. How are you going to do that when you work and it's not enough? And because automation is just getting rid of all kinds of people. So how are you going to do that? And 2020 was trying to give us a blueprint. A lot of people complained, and so they tried to go back, but this is not sustainable. So in the film, what you're dealing with is people doing what they have to do to feed themselves, the artists, the writers, giving white folks the view of us that they want to see, and they're funding it. And I mean, they're funding it. I mean, big time. And these people are giving them the ghettoized version of what black people are. But when you come in the hood, quote unquote, there's no hood no more in New York City. There's no hood in the country more because they took away the hood. They took away public housing in every city I know. From New York City down to Columbia, South Carolina. They've taken away all public municipal housing, they call it down south, and replaced it with some kind of affordable something program. So it's homeless people everywhere. But when you go and find hood people, usually sleeping on the street somewhere, it's not just always ratchetness. I mean, there is that. That's not a lie. But when you sit down and talk and listen to these people, there is intelligence there. Sometimes it's brilliance there. I met some brilliant brothers in the shelter. That's how I knew that this society is based on funding black pathology. And it'll go bankrupt funding black pathology. There's a section of it that will go bankrupt that doesn't care. And I think there's a section that says, look, it's time to move on. It's time to move to the next thing. It's the 21st century. And that's the civil war that's happening right now between the ruling class. There's a big part of the ruling class that wants to move on. There's a part that's like, no, we can't give black people stability. We just can't. We don't want to see it. It makes us mentally uncomfortable. It makes other white people in the society mentally uncomfortable. And so what happens is this go along to get along, but they ham it up and give a false representation. They overdo it, hyperbole, with the ratchetness in the ghetto. And this shows that white people love it. They love to see us pathological. They don't like to see us any other way. They can't understand it. Because if in your mind a person is 4/5 of a human being or 3/5 of a human being, and they're more brilliant than you, then that breaks your brain. That breaks your brain. I've gone into, when I was in the homeless shelter, some of the counselors that was helping me saw us as less than. Like I said, they were other black counselors and they saw us as 2/5. But when I dealt with them and I did most of their job for them, half their job, I did more running around to get my own housing voucher. One housing specialist did do pretty good. He was pretty good for us. He did do a lot of work, a lot of running around, a lot of back and forth. But the other counselor that was just the general counselor, she was supposed to be doing a lot of things for me. And my mental health counselor would tell me, she's supposed to be doing X, Y, Z. I said, look, I can't wait for her to do it. I have to do this thing for myself. So again, And sometimes because of the way I talk, they would forget that I still lived in there. Sometimes we would see the staff together and we would be talking about different things. And I'd be like, y'all know I am a person here. I'm a resident here. Don't y'all forgetting that I'm a resident here. You know, y'all get to go home. I have to stay here in this godforsaken place. So I mean, so there's that. There's a large population of people who have seen us now, and they're comfortable seeing black people sleep on the street. They're comfortable seeing us not out on the corner. They're comfortable seeing us sleep on the train and the subways. They're comfortable seeing us mentally ill and talking to it. They're comfortable with that. They don't. They're comfortable with it in the larger sense because they say, "Oh, still, I'm still better." They can say, "I'm still better." Now the problem is, and why I say it's not sustainable is, um, human beings break down and they cause chaos. So yeah, they're going to punch you in the face. Yeah, they're going to try to snatch your child in the subway train, in the station. Yeah, they're going to curse you out because you won't give them $1. They're going to stretch out on the seats during rush hour so you can't sit down. And because we don't have, because the city closes all the bathrooms, they're going to smell up a whole car so you can't even go in that car. So you have to be packed in other train cars. And because one part of society is evolving with automation and you haven't done the stimulus part, yeah, they're going to break into your car. And as you gentrify the neighborhood, they're going to break into your car. They're going to start breaking into your homes because white folks have the money. They have the disposable income. And we just don't. Even black people who have the good jobs, they don't have the disposable income that they do, that they believe they have. As a matter of fact, one of the things with human resources here, they've done away with gatekeepers. So now how you do it, I explain it. How you do it is you take your documents, whatever you earn, whatever you have, and you scan it, and it goes to the system, and then they have to look at the documents based on that to see if you're in poverty or not poverty or how far from poverty you are. And there's so many people who believe they're not impoverished are living in poverty. There's so many that they have to give resources to a lot more people than they used to. You used to go and sit before a person, and the person would try to gatekeep you and keep you from going further. Now that you scan your documents, it goes straight up in the system, skipping over a person. They're realizing, man, there's a lot more poor people. Especially with inflation, it's a lot more poor people in this society than I think somebody said 62% of the Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Before the pandemic, 50% of the people were at or below the poverty line. And I think that's increased. So you probably got like 60% of the people in the United States living at or below the poverty line. And the only thing that would end that poverty, basically, if you this is the thing that would blow your mind. According to their level of poverty, if you gave every person $1,000 a month, just say you just gave to the poor people, anybody making 75,000 or under, or you would end poverty in one day, because the poverty line is $12,000. If you gave them $1,400 a month, you would end poverty. And things like the child tax credit, $300 a month per child, that helps to end poverty. And we were going in the direction where that was going to be the case. Okay, we're going to have children, the children won't be impoverished, the household will be a little more stable. And I just think during the pandemic, I think black people got to take a breath. And with all the child tax credit and all the credit, we had to have actual resources. And a lot of us built businesses. I built the Conderson Center, and I think it made people uncomfortable. I think it made white folks uncomfortable. So there's a view of us that they're comfortable with, and there's a view of us that educated blacks will just keep presenting them. It's like a drug dealer. I'm just presenting you the thing because it's the way I can fund myself without selling my actual physical body. Right? I'm selling you some ideas. I'm selling you comfort, psychological comfort, just like a drug would do. And the movie is about that and what toll it takes on people, and all the other things that goes on in a society that forces you, because all the resources are locked up in these people's hands. And if you want some of that resources, you have to perform. You have to jump around or do some kind of performance. And it's absolutely true. I mean, even one of our smartest people, and you may not really realize this, let's take Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's very animated and entertaining. Because if Neil deGrasse Tyson just came on and talked like I talk, there would be no way. But he's animated, he talks a lot, he makes jokes, he gets up, he does this, and so he makes people laugh and they feel comfortable. And when he's on the stage with a bunch of white people, he's smart, sometimes smarter than all of them. And you can see they attack him. They do it in little slick ways, what they think is doing slick ways. And then he beats them back, but then he does it in a joking way. So we always have to perform. That again is not sustainable. We can't just be everybody's entertainment. That's not a good society. That's not mental stability. That's not good for the evolution of humanity. Where you took one whole people and relegated them to entertainers. We have scientists, we have teachers, we have philosophers, we have doctors, we have surgeons, we have people with the desire and the talents, but you're shutting us off and telling us we have to do that. So that's basically American Fiction, what it's about, the toll that this idea takes of trying to feed yourself in a society that sees you as less human by giving them the stories they love, making them comfortable, and it exposed everyone. It exposed the people, all the white people, the white liberals who are fascinated with ghetto life, and it exposed the educated blacks who are creating this false ghetto life for them so they can get their pay, and then taking their own pay and forgetting about actually poor black people. So I hope I did a good justice without giving any spoilers. Go see the film. Very well acted. Even had Kizzy from Roots. She played the mother, and I loved it. I liked it. I like Jeffrey Wright in everything he does. He picks the best roles, and he was good in this too. Erica Alexander was good in it. I love her. I don't really care for Tracy Ellis Ross. She was all right. She was good in it, but I don't really care for her. Of course, Sterling K. Brown was good in it. David Keith. All these people were good. And I saw it in a mixed audience, so it was kind of weird. White people were laughing at certain things. Black people were laughing at other things. Which just goes to show you, we're watching the same things. And I mean, at one point, a white person looked at me like, why is he laughing at that? And then later on, as the scene come on, the jokes came, because I could see the things coming. I could see the ridiculousness coming. Because with racism, you can look when you're in a situation, you see a thing and you're like, I know where this is gonna go. And I would laugh. I was saying, oh boy, here it comes. And people would look around at me, and then boom, it would come. And so I'm not sure how that white couple felt. They might have been a little uncomfortable, like, damn, are we that bad? Are our friends that bad? But that's something for them to go home and think about. But I enjoyed it. Um, and I think I need to see more movies now that I'm by myself, on my own, with no one to care for me. I guess I can go see movies and hang out and review them for you. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'll be what Sunday will be. And the Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be reading. I'll see you tomorrow with another book. I'm not sure what I'm gonna choose. Maybe I'll go back to the PDM, the psychological book, because again, more people are losing their minds. Um, you can support me by giving directly, hitting the links, or becoming a sponsor. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Please be safe. There's a flu virus going around. There's a snowstorm coming. Please be safe. Take care of one another, and take care of yourselves.